Live weather at 5.
Welcome in to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. They are back. Heat advisories. Now, a lot of locations, as you can see over my left shoulder here, Coahoma and Tunica counties under that heat advisory this evening, both in effect until 8 p.m. The rest of us, not quite, though more of us could be added as we progress into this upcoming weekend. Though, as we look throughout the remainder of this evening, I think a couple showers are possible. Now, while storms are also possible, these are going to be very spotty, and most of us aren't going to see a whole lot. We're tracking that with Mama Justice Doppler here in just a moment. Heat concerns stick around through the weekend and actually build in some cases, but if we can have enough rain showers, maybe that holds them down just a little bit. And what we're looking at in Mississippi Live News, the cost of curbs. Our Emily Leonard, I don't know about you, I don't pay attention to them hardly, but they do come at a cost.
They come at a cost, and they are important, believe it or not. The city of Tupelo approved a contract for some curbs as well as some gutter work. Of course, we're talking about Barnes Crossing Extended, so much work going on out there, but specifically with these curbs and these gutters, what they're trying to do is improve the safety out there. So there is a portion of that road they're going to be working on. We'll tell you all about it, and more importantly, why they are doing this, coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Emily, looking forward to that with Mississippi Live News. This evening, still holding on to 89 degrees with a couple spotty storms out there at 6 p.m. There aren't a lot, but in a few cases, we do have some that have popped up, lightning, heavy rainfall, all that stuff associated with those, and they continue to be a possibility, but later on tonight, not as many. Now, on the wider shot here, you got to go all the way out there to Alabama to see a severe thunderstorm warning. That is a sign that, again, all of our storms are below those severe limits at this point in time. Coming up again with just some widely scattered showers out there. I put this on a 3-hour loop here. And as you can see, while we've had some pop up, none have been terribly long-lived, and a lot of us have missed out over that period of time. Some of the heavier showers and storms, like this one near Parkersburg, a little bit of lightning, but on the entire scan here, we show 16 strikes. That's not much, is it? We've had some of these storms kind of flaring up there in and around Parkersburg and up there closer to Spring Hill near the Lafayette and that'd be, I guess, Lafayette and Pontotoc County line. But the one near Houston, again, looking underneath some of those showers as we go out of our camera there in the Houston area. Looks like that reporting station there still offline, but you could see a little bit of vertical development looking toward one of those. We kind of have a little bit of shot there out of that one in the Houston area, but nothing overly significant. And mostly just puffy cumulus clouds down for Philadelphia, though some of those getting a little bit taller there, 91 degrees in Philadelphia at this time period. We have some showers north of that, stretching up closer to Noxapater and south of the Ackerman area. Put this in the motion on Mama Justice Doppler radar, make it a 1-hour loop here. And again, these have been flared up from time to time, been a little bit heavier. I mean, you could argue maybe creeping back toward the east, but I'm hesitant to put a storm track on any of these because you can see they're all kind of doing their own thing on which direction they're kind of going at this time. A sign that they remain relatively weak. Moderate rainfall really at most out of those storms. Storms are stronger back out into Arkansas. Those storms are, I guess, generally speaking, kind of working their way east, but not with any sort of great haste. I think we lose the heating of the day before they truly make it on in here. And down to the southwest, south there of Vicksburg, between that and Natchez, closer to Crystal Springs, a few storms, but none of those that are really kind of moving any sort of a northerly direction. One of the many reasons why, again, as we look kind of on the regional shot here, it's just spotty sort of storms and mainly below severe limits again. So a few continue this evening, as you saw a few that do expand beyond where they're at, some moving more north, a lot of them kind of from the west. And the storms back out in Arkansas a lot heavier than what we have back here into Mississippi. And so as we head into this evening, it's still possible to have a few rumbles, but mostly those storms are going to be below severe limits. With a couple of these 2-3 o'clock in the morning out here toward Clarksdale and Forest City, a possibility that these do get a little bit heavier. We'll talk to our Gabe Maynor about that possibility come up here in a couple of minutes. But looking out and about there as we head throughout the overnight hours, there do remain at least limited chances for rainfall there. So we're going to keep this slightest chance, I think, even for the first part of tomorrow, before chances get better by afternoon. So we'll say 10% on that coverage of rainfall at 6 a.m., 20% by 9. We're to 90 by noontime. As you'll notice when we'll show you Futurecast here in a minute, a lot of us are going to miss out on the meaningful rainfall. But where it does end up kind of popping up, that coverage gets up to 30% by 3 p.m., 40% perhaps by 6 p.m., and heat indices pushing in excess of the 90-degree point. And do think, again, some heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds out of the strongest of these. We'll show you where those are the most likely and break down your complete forecast through what is expected to be a hot weekend. Heat advisories are back. That's coming up on Mississippi Live Weather. But 60 seconds from now, Emily's got the very latest on your Friday evening news. It's Mississippi Live at 5. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
It's back to school BOGO at Room to Room. Buy one, get one half off store-wide on furniture, mattresses, and more. Or take advantage of 12-month special financing. Don't wait. Shop today and save big before this event ends. Room to Room Tupelo. There's no place like home.
Dust off your favorite shotgun and sign up for the Natchez Trace Council Clay Classic. Call 662-842-2871 or visit natcheztracecouncil.org.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday to you, and thank you so much for watching Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Corinth firefighters are seeing more and more abandoned house fires in the city. Corinth Fire Chief Chris Kelly says that puts his firefighters in danger because even when a house is known to be abandoned, crews still have to search it for people, often in structurally unsafe buildings. So they need your help. If you see suspicious activity around an abandoned home, please call the fire department. Fire Chief says that many of these fires start because people are illegally living in or taking shelter in these abandoned homes. Spending more than $500,000 in curbs and gutters will hopefully make things a little safer on one of Tupelo's biggest roads. City Council approved a more than $660,000 contract for curb work and gutter work right there on Barnes Crossing Road between the Natchez Trace and Crossover Boulevard. That's right by Zaxby's. If you look on that map, this is the highlighted portion there in red. And here's Crossover Boulevard right there by Zaxby's. City Engineer Dennis Bond says this is about safety in controlling runoff water so the shoulders will stop washing out. Mayor Todd Jordan says this completes the work for curbs and gutters all the way to North Gloucester Street intersection. There's no start date just yet. As I said earlier, happy Friday. And now it is time to get to the fun stuff because here on Mississippi Live, cue it. Local fun matters. And you know what is really fun, you guys? Dancing. Yes, it is. I promise. And these dancers are putting on the final touches for this weekend's Dance Like the Stars event. The Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi once again holding its annual fundraiser Saturday night at 6:30 at the Huntington Bank Arena. It is a big event, you guys. All of the money raised supports the programs at our local Boys and Girls Clubs.
It's all about the kids. And the great thing about it is really this is a celebration because our money has been working for us all summer long. So as those donations have been coming in since May, they've helped us with costs during the summer where we're open longer during summer months. We have more staff. We're doing more field trips where we need more fuel, more snacks. So all of that money really has gone to work all summer. And of course, these dancers have put in a lot of work with their routines. And so really this is a celebration of everything.
You guys, dinner tickets are already sold out, but general admission tickets are still available. They are $20. This year's event will also recognize first responders. So like my girl Michelle there in orange, let's dance. You know, we won't ever bull you here on Mississippi Live, but we will this time. Law enforcement in Pickens County, Alabama were moving fast to keep up with this 1,500-pound escape artist near Pickens Academy on Friday. It was a high-stakes game of cat and bull across Highway 17 and back. I'm giving you all my best puns, you guys. But deputies refused to be outsteered. Take a look at this. Thanks to some help on horseback, the bull is now back in the pen. Pickens County deputies and Carrollton police officers have now decided to stick with patrol and leave the rodeo to the pros. Just another day in Pickens County, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Have a great night.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission seating is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
For years, it's been the same formula. If it bleeds, it leads. You deserve better. We are Mississippi Live. We're focused on the stories that matter to you, to your community, to your family, because local matters. We are Mississippi Live.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Laubhahn.
Well, it is 5:12. Welcome back to Mississippi Live. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Laubhahn. Wide shot here makes it look like we have some issues. I mean, we have about 2,300 lightning strikes on this shot, but when you kind of drill down to more of the specific area, you'll notice the number doesn't necessarily go down because we're zoomed in enough that we still are catching parts of Arkansas. But if I were to carve that out behind me there, we're down to 1,100 strikes. And really over the most of North Mississippi, I mean, I'm again flared up because what we have back out there to the east as well. There's just not a lot, which means luckily what we have out there is, while maybe disruptive, not super duper impactful. Showing our camera there in Ware right now with, again, rainfall with that. Hold on, are you looking for my phone? Okay, well, I just stopped it, so you better answer it. Mississippi Live News. Occasionally, someone comes in to steal my phone. That's part of it there. Okay, let's look out of our camera there in Ackerman. We'll look at a few other cameras here in just a minute. Looking back, this one generally can kind of see back toward where that mix of clouds on our Fastnet camera, 91 degrees current temperature there. And again, that storm that we have is not particularly impressive on that shot or really any of our shots at this point in time. Get a loop on that. Shows it is not really moving much, sort of kind of drifting toward the north and east. So, I mean, it's not inconceivable that it holds together here and maybe gets to Ackerman. 16 miles per hour is overshooting that, but that's a 5:43. I'd say between 5:45 and 6 o'clock if we were to make it to Ackerman. That'd be kind of the best case scenario. We're kind of at that point where we need some meaningful rainfall. One near DeKalb there on the north side of town, but again, pretty limited. One near Forest, just south of Forest there. But again, that one not really moving. I mean, there's not much out there, is it? The one we had in Houston's already died out as well. A few back here in northwest Mississippi have all kind of fallen apart as well. You see a story there? Same story, really, the case on kind of all of those sky cams at this time. Mabin, we're 91 degrees at that camera location. Mix of clouds. I guess that cloud cover holding the temperature back just a little bit on our Fastnet location there. 102 for what it feels like in Mabin at this moment. Coming out in Clarksdale, a little hotter for that feels like at 104 as of this hour, and not a lot of wind. Okay, that's another way to say zero wind, which would be certainly a little more helpful if we had some of that. Macon, 85 degrees. I mean, maybe some rain cooled air somewhat close to there, but I think that reporting station might be just a little bit off today. We'll say optimistic at this hour. And Iuka, 84. Okay, Gabe Maynard, hold on a second here. Am I crazy? Do we have enough rain-cooled air out there to say 84 at some spots?
I mean, I
feel like I didn't set up my show right, if that's the case.
No, it's not crazy at all. That rain-cooled air, we were talking yesterday about how those 30% of folks in North Mississippi are going to be shouting to the heavens in gratitude because it's going to make it feel so much more bearable. But for the 70% that remain on the drier side, yeah, the heat continues to be the story. So yeah, that rain-cooled air definitely mixing in. Temperatures might be adjusting there behind you as you see 90, but as those storms move on through, they're not too far away from Iuka, and those chances will gradually stick around through the evening.
Yeah, I guess a couple folks lucky enough to get some pockets of that rain-cooled air. We're going to touch back in with you in a minute. I want to dig in a little more deeply on some of these, some of the rain chances over the course of the weekend as we talk about that. We don't have a lot of big changes out there on kind of the wider shot, stalled front to the north, nothing to really kind of stir things up. We're just kind of a pot that's bubbling over, and where it decides to bubble up with something, well, we get something. That ends up being kind of a spotty sort of something. And so we do show a couple out there like the one we have shows in Choctaw County, probably overdone a little bit, but it does at least capture the ones we're looking at down there, a couple back toward Oxford. You'll notice, though, you go back out into Arkansas, get some of those where it goes to the dark red, maybe even kind of the white there in the middle, a sign that it's get fairly heavy, and then up into Tennessee. But we're kind of the exception around here where most locations, those storms remain somewhat weaker. I think flaring up a couple as we go through the evening, but a lot of us going to see most of those done by around midnight. We do have back here toward the Arkansas state line, some showers and thunderstorms. They do expand eastward potentially into tomorrow morning. Not impressed by that, but not impossible to get a few of those storms that are a little bit heavy, but I think most probably not the case. And that's why, well, I would show you my phone, but it disappeared in the other room. Make sure you have the app available for that. Low 70s out there to begin early tomorrow morning. Your day planner on your Saturday. After starting off, we'll say about 74 or so at 7 a.m. We're 90 by noon, 93 by tomorrow afternoon. Rain coverage 30 to maybe 40% with some thunderstorms popping up. One of the better chances of rainfall we have going forward, likely on your Saturday. So our Friday evening, again, we have some heat advisories back to the north and west. It's possible some of these could be extended and expanded into your Saturday. They have not been at this point, and that's something that typically in this pattern Weather Service does day by day. So 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, a couple isolated showers and thunderstorms kind of already going out there. We show close to Aberdeen and West Point. Not much activity by noontime, but notice how that ratchets up as we head into the afternoon. A few of these develop fairly quickly. Somewhat stronger one there into Carroll County. A couple, notice how they really kind of expand by around 3 o'clock. And sometimes that's what it takes. Takes that one, kicks out the rain-cooled air, and then thunderstorms start expanding a little bit more beyond that point in time there. Heavier kind of moving back toward the north and east. This batch there closer to Oxford and Bruce, working its way towards, say, Tupelo by tomorrow evening. Let's bring Gabe back in here for a second as we sort of talk about this here. And Gabe, look at the rainfall chances for tomorrow. I mean, severe. Maybe one or two, but I don't necessarily see it on these.
No, I don't. It does look like we actually have a wave moving in, so our suspicions earlier on in the week kind of verifying with short-range models, so at least the consistency is lining up there. The unfortunate part is that could add some speed to it, which may add some lift, and might get a few of these on the more interesting side, but I don't think we're talking about anything severe. I think at most we're sub-severe gusts, perhaps impactful due to the ice storm, but still remaining sub-severe on the warning side of things.
Okay, do I need to talk about what's behind you right now, or can I finish my forecast first?
You can finish the forecast. This was a little bit more out towards Alabama, but shows what the storms are capable of.
Well, that looks interesting. So that's an unintentional tease there, Gabe. So we'll talk more about that here in a moment. Got my attention with that. Showing again here on Futurecast, most of those storms. Again, I think better chances tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. High temperatures tomorrow, where the rainfall is not everywhere. We're going to have it into the mid-90s. There'll be some pockets of rain-cooled air below these values there. Above 100 degrees for heat indices for almost all locations for tomorrow afternoon. Clarksdale up around 107, 104 Cleveland. So I do think some folks back here in the Delta could once again be under those heat advisories for tomorrow. Not as convinced near the Mississippi-Alabama state line, though. Eastern part of the state, not quite as hot. You can kind of clearly see looking at that heat injury risk there, where it's most likely in the Delta, close to the Mississippi River for tomorrow afternoon. Now, tomorrow evening, 7:30, 8 o'clock, those storms continue to become a little bit more limited in overall coverage, and mostly done as we head towards, say, midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. In saying that, and this is one of the things I wanted to watch, we're now in kind of the short enough range. We can get a look at this on our high-resolution HRRR. Last night, you might remember, we had a pretty defined little spin that was rolling in, producing some thunderstorms for early Sunday morning. While it's more difficult to maybe pick up on any kind of spin here in the atmosphere. And again, I'm not talking tornado spin. We're just talking about lift sort of spin. But I still have a little wave there moving in from the delta that could be an impact for the first part of your Sunday morning as well. So that is something that stayed consistent since last night, looking at the forecast there as well. Low temperatures for Sunday morning, somewhere in the middle 70s, coming to about 73 degrees in Grenada and in Greenwood, 74 for Starkville, and 75 in Columbus, 73 in Oxford and Water Valley. By Sunday, 9 a.m., again, Delta where we show the greatest coverage of those. Cleveland back toward Greenville, expanding eastward as we progress toward noontime, more into the afternoon. But as we change this over to our strike model, it's somewhat more limited in the storms, does not have as many with that little weak wave there. I think you'll notice that there's a lesser coverage of storms by your Sunday afternoon versus your Saturday, and that is what we expected to see. That's what projections still have at this point here. Positioning on those working their way eastward, I would still say it's going to be fairly widely scattered. A lot of pockets in between where we don't have much going on. So 93 Cleveland, 96 degrees in Greenville, 4 highs on Sunday, 94 for Grenada, and 95 degrees or so there for Greenwood. It'll feel like 102 there, 107 again, kind of carbon copy forecast for Sunday out throughout the Delta. And heat indices a little bit hotter back here. Houston, Bruce, Amory, Starkville by your Sunday afternoon. 7-day forecast has us 40% on that rain coverage on Saturday, 20% Sunday. As you saw a moment ago, looking at the HRRR, it might be a little higher than that early in the day, and that does kind of have the same look that last night's strike model had. But tonight's strike model has backed off of that a little bit. So that's the reason why I think we're cutting it down enough to get it to 20% there for Sunday, as well as for Monday. Temperatures expecting those heat indices be 100 plus through that period there. We're at low 90s, we'll say, by Tuesday of next week, and keeping it there into the latter part of the week. Rain chances backed up 30% for Wednesday, 20% for Thursday. Again, spotty sort of showers and thunderstorms. Not a lot of big changes in this forecast. As long as you have that Mississippi Live weather app, you're going to be in good shape to stay ahead of any issues related to that. I want to bring up our chat with folks behind the scenes here for a moment, and then I'm going to get to that picture that Gabe was taunting us with a little bit there. Calhoun City, of course, a little bits of rain there with some of the showers that we have had out there. Thermometer says 89 in Burnsville. Okay, Tammy, I'll give you. That's what we're looking at, and appreciate you, Arnita, for watching, and all of you guys for supporting us, and Wayne's Pest Control, Absolute Restoration, all the folks that again sponsor us here on Mississippi Live. Okay, I got to get back over to Gabe. I got to know what it is. Okay, so what is that behind you, and where did you get that from?
Well, so this is from the emergency manager over in Jefferson County, Alabama, which for those familiar with Alabama, that's downtown Birmingham. This is a look at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and that is a vehicle that's actually submerged up to about halfway up on those tires. This is all water, and you can see it reaching the front bumper there of some of the vehicles. So it was a drastically different story from what we're getting here in North Mississippi, but these storms not having a ton of movement to it. So while it's dumping heavy rainfall, it's dumping heavy rainfall over a decent period of time. And so those rainfall amounts get 2-3 inches in a short time frame and can look like this. And this is over by Vanderbilt Road in Jefferson County. So I have seen that the flood advisory and warning has been lifted. So I'm hopeful that that means that rainfall rate, those still waters have kind of come down a little bit, but nonetheless, Matt,
but I think that's a great example of what it looks like when you get like a flood advisory or an aerial flood advisory is not the fast moving stuff. That's the water comes up, water goes down in the same spot, as opposed to flash flood warning. You're worried about being carried away. Mm-hmm. You know, that's just the water that sits and causes issues with the way it goes.
Yeah, but in downtown Birmingham, that's kind of wild. And there's more reports coming out in the metro area. So, you know, I have some folks that work over there, and I'm praying they made it home safe.
Well, and I have to ask, it looks like that clearly that one sheriff's car had a prior issue with that.
That's not from the storms.
That caught my eye. I'm like, I thought it might be water on the bottom, but I couldn't tell for sure. But yeah, no,
that's not from the storms. These have been sub-severe for the most part. Up towards Huntsville, they had a severe thunderstorm warning, but no reports out of there so far. Continuing to monitor the chat and any more pictures that are submitted, and that includes our Mississippi Live viewers, whether you're in Alabama or Mississippi or even out towards Arkansas. Plenty of storms. Send in those clouds, send in those reports, and if there's damage that occurs, send it in, because the National Weather Service in Memphis, down in Jackson, they get those reports and will issue those warnings accordingly based off of what you guys submit.
Okay, and yes, you mentioned the app is probably the easiest way to share those iOS, Android devices. You send that picture in, they can see it right in there. And appreciate all of you guys for supporting us here on Mississippi Live. Our next live broadcast is going to be come up here in about 35 minutes or so at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be looking at some of the rainfall totals over the next 7 days, as well as over the course of the weekend, where those are the most likely to have some issues. And I do want to check in with our Emily Leonard. I think she might be ready back there. Let's see what you were looking at for news. Again, on Fridays, and every single day of the week, Emily has, look at that. You have notes there to make sure you have 6 o'clock right. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much. And I had to make sure to get my notes because I got a lot going on in this head. A lot of news, a lot of things, a lot of stuff. Okay, 6 o'clock, a few things coming up. There is a scam going around, because there's always a scam going around. And unfortunately, they tend to follow disasters. And we talk so much about January's ice storm that, yes, there is a scam involving the ice storm that the city of Iuka wants to warn people about. So I'll have that coming up at 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay, looking forward to that there. And if people have fun things they want to send in, is there a way they can get those to you? Because I know, like, what is it? We Love Fun? What do you name it? I can't remember. My brain just went dead.
Local Fun Matters.
Local Fun Matters. One of these days, I'll get my brain all engaged.
Maybe
is there
you
a
should
way
write that down on your notes.
I wish everyone could see the apps. Here, I'll take my desk up a little bit more so everyone can see the absolute mess of garbage that is right off camera there. So that's what you can't see at home, thankfully. Anyway, I got too many notes.
Thankfully. So yes, but you asked about Local Fun Matters, and yes, we do like to highlight things on Fridays if we can, going into the weekend. You can email me, Emily at ms.live. That's an easy way to do it. You can also find me on Facebook on Emily Leonard. I'm pretty easy to find. So yeah, just send me the information.
Okay.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay, appreciate that.
Growing up in a farming community, I've always been fascinated with the weather. But in 2024, my draw to be a mother became stronger.
So I took a step back from my job until Matt gave me a call. Mississippi Live allows me to be fully present at home while also getting to do my dream job as a broadcast meteorologist.
Wake up with me every weekday morning on Mississippi Live.
Thank you, Pontotoc, for supporting Mississippi Live Weather.